Okay, so this is a introduction to the project which I'm making. So the name of the project is The Passing, and it's a 2D horror action platformer game with RPG elements. So here's a little prototype which I've created. So at the moment there's a player character which has a attack feature and a roll feature. So to attack is with the left click, and to guard is with the right. So throughout this level there's items and stuff which are scattered around, so the player can collect them. So here is there's also enemy placeholders around to show where the enemies would have been placed. So here's a ring item, for example. And here's like some tracks and stuff which the player can platform through to get to like another location of the map, another area of the map. So here's other enemies, and there's a sword item there which has no functionality at the moment. And there's a few other. There's also some platforms which the player can bounce from to get to like greater heights. So here is another section. This is where the enemy, or this is where the level would have ended, and that's pretty much all it's pretty much what the prototype I've built has. So in terms of mechanics, it will flow similar to how Castlevania Symphony of the Night plays. So like the jump height and the way the character, so the jump height would be similar to how it would work in this game, which is Castlevania, but it wouldn't be as like agile, so it gives players more of a challenge and stuff. And the speed will also be probably around the same as this, if not probably a bit slower. The air controls would feel similar to other platformers such as Hollow Knight. So like for example here, it's pretty nimble air control, and it's not too like janky, and it's enough to make that character think the player think they're playing an agile character. And in terms of the aesthetics, it would be similar to Castlevania, which I'll show in a second. So it will have the same type of like dark castle-ish theme, like with the dark colors, and the enemies as well will be like underworld vibe type characters. There's also another mechanic which hasn't been spoken about, which is a Lantern of Souls mechanic, which will work similar to. It's essentially a light for the player, as the level is going to be dark, so the lantern will be like a light source for the player. So it will work similar to Darkwood, which is a horror game, where the player uses like a light source to show which way they're going and to just highlight the area, the path. So the Lantern of Souls will work similar to this. Okay, so this is a better example of how it would work. So the player would just, so whichever position the player is facing towards, left or right, they would be able to see the pathway. And the Lantern of Souls also has another feature, which is it sucks enemy souls into the lantern. But that will work similar to like the Kirby games, how Kirby swallows enemies. And the overall design goal for this project is to create 2 levels. One would be a plain level, basic level like this, which shows some of the features of the game that we thought of, and another level would be a boss level, which shows ways that basically just tests the player's reaction times to a tougher challenge, a tougher one from the previous challenge they had, which would be the level. And that's pretty much it for the introduction of this project. I hope you enjoyed.